Alright, welcome back. This is Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2, expansion pack, Rise of the Witch-King. As you can see at the very top, I'm playing it in windowed mode at the moment because me and these video software things, we just don't get along whatsoever. So, I started a campaign, and there's going to be no audio in it because I just turned it off because the last time I tried doing audio with Lord of the Rings, it just overpowered and didn't work. But at the top there are there's some subtitles that you can read, but it's going to be kind of hard to read them as I'm blabbering, so you can pause and if you really want to know what's going on. But for the most part, what's happened so far in this video, what you didn't see was a cutscene that came up, and it talked about the Witch-King. This kind of takes place a long time before The Hobbit, and so it takes place quite a bit before The Lord of the Rings, so I don't know why they call it The Lord of the Rings. I guess just because that's the franchise name. So what this is the Witch-King of Angmar. You can see his picture right there down the bottom of the plant here. And this is basically his conquering of the North. Like, we all know from the movies, The Lord of the Rings and whatnot, that, men used to, like, rule all that northern area. There used to be, like, great cities, like the Watchtower of Amansul. That's actually going to be a mission that we can play in this game, and we can see, what happened to it, and all this other kind of things. It's actually, a lot of good history that they have in here, even though not all of it is exactly Tolkien accurate. And so this is just a story of how he conquers the North, and it's just an epic adventure. It's a lot of fun. So I started off the campaign, it had that cutscene, and now we're here. And this is basically like Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2 with very minor changes. All it really did was it consolidated some races and then added new ones. So, for instance, we're playing as the Angmar race right now because this is the campaign. And it has a lot of cool features. Like, a couple seconds ago, I used bought a power, and used it. And I don't remember what it's called, but as you saw, it sucks all enemies in a circle, in an AoE, and it kind of throws them past the center a little bit, and it's a lot of fun to use. Alright, so now we're going to be getting into the actual, battling part. That was just, some story about the trolls and whatever. The three champions down at the bottom, level 2 is Rogash, Troll of the North, middle one, the Witch-King, and that other one, I think his name is Mortimer. I don't remember, I can't see it at the moment. But he's like the lieutenant of Carndom, is just like where we're at right now. Forgive my pronunciation, because, I can't pronounce all those fancy, amazing names that Tolkien created. But right now we're just establishing the Witch King's stronghold. I keep wanting to say Lich King because I played World of Warcraft a lot, and so I'm probably going to make that mistake a couple times. But what we have to do is we have to go around and we're killing these black Númenóreans, which Númenóreans are the Men of the West, is another name for them, and they came from an island in the middle of the not Lord of the Rings, but the whole Tolkien Lord of the Rings Hobbit world area is a place called Arda, and it contains this entire continent. Imagine the World of Warcraft continents where you have Kalimdor. That place is called the Undying Lands, and then Middle-earth would be, let's say, from Ironforge down, basically. So in the Azeroth area down there, the Eastern Kingdoms. So Middle-earth and this area, just a small portion of the whole Tolkien world. And so the Númenóreans came from this island in the middle, where the Maelstrom would be, comparing it to World of Warcraft again. And they got cocky, and they, decided they wanted to try and invade the elves. So, the elves, destroyed their island, sank its cities and all this other kind of stuff, and so a bunch of them, led by Isildur. No, what's that other guy's name? The guy before him. Elendil or something? Something like that. Anyways, I came over here and made Gondor and all that other kind of stuff. But anyways, these are like the breakaway group of the people that, were bad, I guess. And so they came all the way up north, and they're kind of exiled here. And so the whole purpose of this campaign is we're conquering them, and we're going to, gain them as a unit that we can use. Like right now, those are like the basic footmen. They're called Black Numenorians, and there's also the archers, which are called Dark Archers, I think. And so we're just going around creating fortresses and gaining buildings, is what it looks like we're doing right now. Angmar is actually really, 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 really strong in some aspects, because those archers, when they're upgraded, I think that they're just about as powerful as like the special elite elf archers. And in my mind, I think that the elf archer should be considerably better than any other archer, and like some dwarf melee units should be better than other things. But anyways, about balance issues, it's a lot of fun. So let's keep watching. Yeah, we got to kill off all the Numenorians in order to have the fortress built. And as you can see, that's the little power menu, like the first Lord of the Rings had and the second one. And they're all different. Each race now has similar, but they all have different combinations, and some of them even have special ones. Like what I just did there was I selected Rogash, and he got a new ability for getting level 4. And it's some kind of like super jump. It's like Gimli's jump from the first game, where he jumps in an AoE. They kind of recycled a lot of abilities and just changed them a little bit, but there's a lot of really cool new ones. Alright, and that's what the Angmar Fortress looks like. And we are viewing this in, this is on Ultra Graphics, but, bear in mind that the game is quite a few years old now, and so things don't look as pretty as RTSs these days, but it's still a lot of fun to play. Alright, the build menu popped up, and as you can see how I built that mine, it still has that same circle with the percentage, so you can see how efficient it's going to be. 87% seems like the best. So for this map, all that I'm doing is I'm just having the fortresses built, and then I'm building the mines so I can generate income, because I already know that I already know that something else is going to happen. You don't just go around clearing fortresses. That would be way too easy. And so I'm gonna, collect a lot of money just in case I have to build new units. So far, I gained a snow troll den, so I can build new snow trolls if I want to. And I also gained a dark iron forge, which builds those trebuchet kind of things. But I usually don't like those unless I'm sieging something, because they do splash damage, and sometimes they actually hurt your own units, and that's no good. Alright, so apparently the Witch-King told you, there we go. I just used that AoE circle thing again, and here we're going to see Rogash's jump. Boom. That's pretty nice. If only there was a way to combine the two. Maybe we'll see that later. But I just used two abilities of Rogash, the jump, and then he has something called Untamed Allegiances, or at least that's what the power in the power menu is called. And I took control of the troll, so now it's mine to use. And so that's gonna, really make the difference in this battle, because my guys were taking damage. They were in aggressive stance, and all but those two heroes that were taking a lot of damage are still in aggressive stance. Which, in case you don't remember from the Battle for Middle-earth 2 video that I think I covered them in, aggressive stance, you do more damage, but then you take more damage. So it can be useful in like one-on-one hero fights, depending on your hero. But if you're just going to walk into a giant battle, you're probably going to take a lot more damage than the bonus you're going to deal. Moving the camera around with the arrow keys can be a pain. Luckily, I know how to use the hotkeys. Hotkeys are good. Selecting all the units on the map with the Q and then telling them to attack move. See, these earlier missions, you really don't have to have any strategy. I mean, basically they're just attack move here and your guys take care of it. I mean, you don't have to worry about, unit loss, because, you really can't lose at this point. So now what's happening is it said that there was going to be a counterattack. There's a little timer in the left-hand side, and so in a minute and 40 seconds, a bunch of people are going to come from somewhere. There's a lot of open places where they can come. They can come from the path where we started. They could come directly by that third fortress I built. There's a lot of places that lead off the map that don't really have any terrain to block them. So it's really just get all those mills so you can get money so you can build defenses, because you really don't know where they're going, and these units are so slow, and I don't have very many of them left because I kind of just like attack moved, suicided them, didn't really strategize. So hopefully I can get enough money to get enough resources, that was redundant, enough to build towers like I'm doing right now, selecting the defensive build plots, selecting towers. But they're pretty expensive. I wish the audio is working. Rogash has an interesting voice. Rogash never falls. He's got a nice deep voice. Hopefully I can get that worked out. Basically, I'm just test running to see how this works. I really don't like you can see the application name up at the top. That's really, really long. The Lord of the Rings, TM. The Battle for Middle-earth, TM. 2. The Rise of the Witch-King, TM. That's huge. Alright, put those guys in Command Group 1. Again, I mentioned this in another video, but if you can find a copy of the Lord of the Rings anthology, that's the complete set of Battle for Middle-earth games. I don't think it's in production anymore, and so I doubt that you'd find it in like a store, but you could probably find it cheap on eBay. I know that I will keep mine forever. It is my absolute favorite RTS game. Alright, so get that camera back down there. We've got a battle to look at. Alright, here we go. So now we've engaged them. Looks like they're coming from that ramp that we started on. Okay, so what I've done here is exactly what I was talking about earlier, how you can combine different powers in order to, make them more effective. So what I did was I told Rogash to use his attack leap thing, and it took a while for him to do it because he was getting hung up on unit. Unit collision in this game is a problem. Like, they bug out all the time, and like they won't walk around other units. Oh, although I did make a mistake. I should have saved that combo for... I didn't think that there'd be more units coming. So let's go ahead and build more snow trolls. And yeah, we should be good. We got some trebuchets going through, but they won't be a problem. I'll be able to pick those off pretty easily with my cave troll. Oh no! I'm pretty sure Rogash is going to die. Even though he's in defensive mode now, so he's going to take reduced damage. He's still... The range of those archers. The physics are pretty good in this game, and the realism, because those archers were up on a high cliff looking down, they're able to shoot much farther than the average archer would, like just straight on at a level, or shooting up. So that's a feature I really like. So I'm going to take this Mortimer guy and run him back behind the fortress. And so what that's going to do is those units are going to follow him, but then they're going to walk right into the fortress, and they're going to have all those defensive structures there. And they're just going to take a ton of damage. Alright, let's get some more snow trolls popping out. And let's send them to kill some archers. Alright, Witch-King, go do your thing. I don't understand why the troll, Rogash, he was able to get to level 4, like, no problem. Whereas the Witch-King and Mortimer are... stuck at 3. There we go. What that did is it turns on unit bars like that, health bars. I really like that. Because sometimes the units, like you can see the terrain, sometimes it can get hard to see them up against like the rock or whatever. And so I've had it sometimes where I couldn't find the person or whatever. So if you click on the whole battalion, you could see the health bars. And so if someone gets knocked to a weird location, sometimes they'll get knocked up into a cliff and they'll bug out, and you have to have a ranged unit kill it because melee can't get there. What? That banner carrier decided to live. I guess I was too hasty. Boom. Trebuchets for the lose. Come on, click the guy. Fail. Well, it looks like no more people are coming. It looks like we have won. I think that's our last objective that we had. Excellent. Let's check out the cutscene. Sort of cutscene. Either your lives or your wills are forfeit. Choose now. Awesome. They're all cowering in fear. Your will is ours, Dreadlord, now and forever. You are broken, but I will reforge you into a blade worthy of the Iron Crown. His faction is Angmar, but he refers to it as the Iron Crown because, as you can see, and from the Lord of the Rings, the third movie, he wears that gigantic iron crown. Well, I don't know if it's exactly iron, but we're going to assume it's iron because he says Iron Crown. Alright. Wonderful victory. Nice picture. No audio. So what they're saying is the orcs are controlled by these thrall dudes, which are those guys. There's a picture of Angmar Fortress. Looks really nice. The artwork was really well done. More fortress. Zoom out. Bright light. Fade maybe? Fade. Alright, score screen. Here we go. Did well. Did pretty well. Resources. Looks like my heart rate during the whole thing. And there we go. Thanks for watching.